It's really a non-option to not exercise for 2.5, 3 weeks. If you've been following us for a while, you probably listened to our interview with Dr. Cates, which is Charlie's dad, my father-in-law, and he talked about the negative health that comes along when you stop exercising, and it comes quickly. He talked about seeing different patients at different times in their life and how quickly you get out of shape, and not only out of shape, but starting to see negative health in blood values, in different readings that are just kind of your basic vitality signs. These numbers change so quickly. A lot of times we think exercising is all about physique and weight. It really is not. Being continuous and sustainable with your exercise is so important.
Welcome to the Exercise is Health podcast, where we're talking about exercise, health, and the interconnectedness of the two. We are your hosts, Charlie
and Julie,
and we will be coming to you every single week from our studio, Muscle Activation Schaumburg. Hey, welcome back, everybody, to the Exercise is Health podcast. We are your hosts, Charlie
and Julie,
and we're coming to you from our studio, Muscle Activation Schaumburg in Schaumburg, Illinois. Now, at Muscle Activation Schaumburg, we believe your health is your most valuable asset. Your health is one of the biggest influencers of the quality and quantity of time that you have. And while there are many aspects of health, our expertise is exercise. Exercise has been proven time and again to not only improve your health, but also increase your longevity and improve your quality of life. And today we are talking to you about something that we are in the middle of right now, and that is exercising at home. Because for the state of Illinois, at least, we're all on a stay-at-home order for non-essential workers. And so what that means is gyms, studios, health clubs, everywhere else where people tend to work out, we all have to be shut down, including our studio, Muscle Activation Schaumburg. And so what that means for us, what that means for our clients, what that means for people all across the state of Illinois and really throughout most of the United States is people are exercising from home. And so what we've actually started doing now is, well, at the time of this recording, we are on day 9 of broadcasting our in-home workouts on our Facebook Live, right from our Facebook page. And so what we want to talk with you about today is kind of the thought process that's gone in around designing the exercise programs that we've been doing with our Facebook Lives.
Yes, so for the last 9 days, we have been doing these Facebook Live workouts. Number one, we invite you to join in on the fun because everyone that has given us feedback has really been enjoying the workouts. And here's a couple things you need to know about the workouts. Number one, they are only 20 to 25 minutes long. We only use easy to find stuff around the house. Like, it is a bonus if you have your own workout stuff, like you have your dumbbells or whatever, but you really don't have to have the dumbbells and the mats or whatever. You can just use your couch, use your floor, use some cans of green beans that I like to use, or water bottle. Today I used I think it was a 2-gallon thing of vinegar for my resistance. So we really tried to get really creative, figure out how we can bring these safe, sustainable, and convenient workouts for our followers. And it has been a huge success in my opinion because, it's really pushed us to really think out of the box. And I think I'm hoping it will show our followers how much you can get done if you just decide that you need to get stuff done.
Oh, for sure. And, like we say all the time, look, you only get the health benefits of exercise if you can exercise and if you're exercising in the first place. And so the reality is, when we got this stay-at-home order, there was no way that we could say to ourselves, that we could say to our clients, that we could say to anybody, oh yeah, no, take the next 2.5 weeks off of exercise. Like, that's really a non-option for us,
right,
for anybody else. And so we needed to figure out a way, okay, well, how are we going to make sure that we keep exercising, but then also how can we help others still exercise in the process? And so, yeah, there was a need to get creative. There was a need to, use different things for resistance and what we would typically use at our studio. But that being said, I think you're absolutely right, Julie, that this has been wildly successful in it's helping people stay moving. It's helping people stay active. And like you said, it's showing people how convenient, how easy it can be to exercise consistently if you just tell yourself, all right, yeah, this is going to get done. I don't have an option. It has to get done.
I wanted to add to what you just said, Charlie, because you brought up a good point where it's really a non-option to not exercise for 2.5, 3 weeks. Because, for real, here in Illinois, we're on stay at home for 2.5 weeks, but a lot of people didn't really go out a week before that. So that's 3.5 weeks. It's almost a whole month. If you've been following us for a while, you probably listened to our interview with Dr. Cates, which is Charlie's dad, my father-in-law, and he talked about the negative health that comes along when you stop exercising, and it comes quickly. He talked about seeing different patients at different times in their life and how quickly you get out of shape, and not only out of shape, but starting to see negative health, in blood values, in different readings that are just kind of your basic vitality signs. These numbers change so quickly. A lot of times we think exercising is all about physique and weight. It really is not. Being continuous and sustainable with your exercise is so important. The other thing I want to bring up before we dive into the how we started creating this and help you get some tips on how to do it maybe yourself is that I don't want you to listen to this podcast and say, oh, well, Julie and Charlie said that I can get every health benefit that I need from exercise at home. And if all you can do is work out at home, please work out at home, because working out at home is better than not working out at all. But what you can't get at home, you can get in the gym. Now, I don't want to say that I'm a super gym rat, because I'm probably the furthest from it. Actually, my workouts are probably 50-50 at home and at the gym, but I do the stuff at the gym that I can't do at home. There's a lot of opportunity at the gym that you cannot get at home in terms of challenging certain muscle groups, and not just challenging certain muscle groups, but being specific with certain muscle groups, and also opportunity for different joint stressors at the gym versus at home, meaning there's so many more options at the gym, especially for those of you that struggle with joint issues, or you feel like I have to be really picky with my exercise for it to feel good. That's actually what Charlie and I deal with all the time, meaning the people that we see, some of them feel great. They can do any exercise and feel awesome. Yeah, some of them are like that. Most of them, and I would say most of the population, if you're over the age of 40, there are certain things that you do that don't feel so good. And that might be in the moment, hurts in your knee, or there's grinding or funkiness in your back. Or it might be, wow, every time I do that, my back flares up the next day. So that means I just shouldn't do it. So I do want to highlight that. And we did do an entire podcast about some of the benefits in the gym that we'll link to it in the show notes. But I did want to highlight this because I don't want you to listen to this and think, oh yeah, I can get everything I need at home, because there are such incredible benefits and unique benefits that are not found at home that you can find in the gym. But given what we've been given with this stay-at-home order, we're doing the best we can, and I think that we have some really good tips for you today for at-home workouts.
Yeah, for sure. And, that's something I think we hear a lot, Julie, is the idea of, I work out at home. And to your point, if that's the only way you can work out, okay, awesome. Get it done.
Do it.
Get it in without question. But if you have any opportunity whatsoever to get to a gym, to work out in a place that has machines, that has equipment, do that. Because like you're saying, Julie, it's going to provide such a unique and specific opportunity to challenge and improve your body, not only right now in the moment, but sustainably for the long term, that hands down, without question, that's going to be the way that you want to go. And, for your long-term health, for your longevity, for your long-term well-being. And so, yes, the stay-home workouts that we're doing right now, they'll suffice, without question. They'll get us through till we can get back to the gym. But unlike you, I'm itching to get back to MAS.
I know, Charlie's the gym guy. He's ready to see the big weights.
Exactly. All right. So that being said, what are we looking at as far as kind of the at-home workouts that we've been doing, and kind of what is the thought process that went into designing these workouts? All right. So first of all, we have 3 different components to each workout. All right. We always start off with about a 3-minute warm-up that involves various calisthenics and other just kind of body weight, some dynamic type movements such as jumping jacks, body weight squats,
Marching in place.
Marching in place, what we call like ropeless jumps, so like jumping rope but without the rope.
Fake rope.
Exactly. So you can just things like that, get the heart rate up, get your respiratory rate up, get your blood flowing a little bit, and get your body moving in different ways, not just front to back, but some side to side, some up and down, some twisting, some turning, and throughout your entire body as well, not just your lower body. So that's been a really key component to this, because that kind of has been allowing us and people who have been following a workout to kind of more or less get their body primed like a warm-up should, in order to be able to move into the second section of the workouts.
Now, the second section of the workout is the main chunk of the workout itself. This is what people would probably call, quote unquote, the workout, or what Charlie and I are saying, this is our resistance training portion. So what we've done is we do 3 rounds of 3 exercises for 30 seconds each. And after you complete all 3 exercises one time, you take a 30-second break. So it goes exercise 1 for 30 seconds, exercise 2 for 30 seconds, exercise 3 for 30 seconds, rest. Repeat 3 times. And then we do a second cycle after that, just the same. And what we've done with this is we've put quite a bit of thought into what 3 exercises are we going to choose for round 1, and what 3 exercises are we going to choose for round 2. Now remember, when we're doing these, number 1, we're not just doing it for ourselves, but we're thinking about, okay, we have a lot of viewers doing these exercises, so we have to make it kind of inviting for all, but also somewhat kind to everyone's bodies, or at least options that could be kind to everybody's bodies. Because remember, we're trying to keep this safe, sustainable, and convenient. Now, the first thing we think about when choosing these, 6 exercises, because we're doing 3 and 3, is total body, meaning we want each area of the body to be challenged during the workout at some point. So we always think about upper body, trunk or your core or midsection, whatever you want to call that, and lower body. So we always have a lower body, an upper body, and a core for round 1, and round 2, a lower body, an upper body, and a core for round 2.
Yeah, absolutely. And not just thinking about kind of what's going on within each workout, but looking at the bigger picture overall and thinking about, okay, how does one day, compare to the next? And, what was done on Monday, and how will that influence what's done on Tuesday? How will that influence what's done on Wednesday? And then looking at the entire week as a whole, because, to the second point that you said, Julie, of we want the workouts to be safe, sustainable, and convenient. If we're going to make sure that they're sustainable, then we need to have, a certain flow throughout the week of, okay, we're working your shoulders in this manner on one day, and then we're working your shoulders in this manner on another day, and we're working your legs in this manner on a third day, and your legs in this manner on a fourth, and so on and so forth. And so, if you're going to hit lower body every single day of the week, you got to be able to change how you're challenging your lower body every single time you hit it. And not only that, but varying the intensity with which you are challenging it as well. So there are some days that are more intense and some days that are less intense, and almost like built-in recovery for specific areas and whatnot. So all that has kind of gone into the planning of these workouts. And I think that is a huge component that is often missed with the idea of, oh, I got this workout program online. I mean, it's not hard to create a workout program for one day. It's really not hard to create a workout program for a week or for a month, because there's no accountability, meaning there's no accountability if you just do the workout for one day because you're not worried about what's happening in the subsequent days. There's no accountability if you're just creating a workout program for a week or for a month, because there's no accountability for you're not worried about what's happening after that. And that's one of the issues that I know you and I have, Julie, with these 6-week programs or stuff like that, because there's no follow-up, there's no accountability after that. But this, even though at some point we're going to be able to go back to working out at an MAS, we are still thinking long-term sustainability. Let's say 3 years from now, people are still watching these, replay videos, and there's the idea being that you could continue to do these workouts for the foreseeable future. with minimal potential negative repercussions because of how the intensities are being varied and how the challenges to your body are being varied with the total body aspect of things.
Yeah, it can be kind of confusing because we just said every single day we work upper body, lower body, and core. And so a lot of us think like, oh, if I think an upper body exercise is push-ups, so you guys do push-ups every day? So what we're trying to explain is that each day we might be working upper body, but in a different manner. And we can do this in a couple ways. Number one, we can think of a different exercise, right? A push-up or bicep curls or lateral raises. And we can also think about it as making sure the joints are moving in different motions. So that's another great way to vary things. But the one limiting factor, and I do have to bring this up because it's probably the hugest limiting factor that is huge for Charlie and I because we work in the field. You might not recognize it quite as much if you're not as exposed, but there is a huge limiting factor in the direction of force that we get to use at home. So when we work out at home, we often think about like dumbbells, right? Or a kettlebell. If you're lucky, you might have bands or like a simple cable machine, but not everyone has that. So when we think about these mass-based things, dumbbells and kettlebells, like if I lifted up a dumbbell and let go of it, where does it go? It drops right to the ground. Just make sure your foot's not there. But it drops right to the ground because we're working in a gravity field, right? And the direction of force is always going to come from those mass-based things as down because we're in gravity. So all the stuff that we're using for these workouts is in this force direction of down, which is a huge limiting factor because we have to then manipulate our bodies to get different areas targeted. In the gym, what's really nice is that different machines push you around in different directions. So if you think about like a seated row machine, it kind of pulls your arms or your body forward. Or if you think about a knee extension machine, it's kind of arcing around, kind of like your leg is. The gravity could never do that because the machines are designed to change that direction of resistance. So in that manner, we do have a huge limiting factor that we're trying to do our best with, but is one of the reasons that home workouts can be a little bit not complete compared to what you can do in the gym.
Yeah, for sure. And then kind of building on that, not only can the direction of force being a limiting factor, but there can also be, working out at home, there can be more distractions and whatnot. And so because of that, to say, oh yeah, we're going to put on a 45-minute workout, or we're going to put on a 60-minute workout for people. It's like, okay, yeah, there's going to be a lot that happens here over the next 45 to 60 minutes, if you have kids running around or anything like that. Mm-hmm. So the feasibility of doing that length of a workout is just kind of unreasonable to ask. It's one thing when people come to our studio and it's like, okay, you're here. We're focused on you. You're focused on you for the next 55 minutes. When you're at home, there's a lot of stuff going on. So that had to be taken into consideration in order for this to be both sustainable and convenient, kind of hitting 2 out of those 3 points with the third one being safe. And so in order to do that, we said, okay, what would be the minimum viable amount of time that somebody could work out where they could see legitimate health and function benefits? And what we have been telling people for years is you got to get a minimum of 20 minutes of exercise in every day. And so that was our goal. All right, we're going to create a workout that can be done in 20 minutes. Sometimes it goes a little bit, but it's always right around that 20-minute mark, okay? And that is so, one, if you have 20 minutes after dinner, you can get it in. If you have 20 minutes in the morning time, you can get it in. It's just a small window of time that you need. We're not asking you to commit for 30 minutes. We're not asking you to commit to 45 minutes. We're not asking you to commit for an hour. It's 20 minutes, which makes it far more feasible for people to do. And because it's more feasible, it becomes more sustainable. And so that was a really big part. But then that also puts a constraint on, right? Because if we're looking to work out somebody's entire body within 20 minutes, yes, you can do like super intense stuff the whole time. But again, that's not going to be sustainable. So how do you exercise in a sustainable manner where you still challenge certain areas within a 20-minute time block and do so in a manner that you can come back the next day and do it, and come back the day after that and the day after that. And so that's really where the exercise selection came in. But then also the duration of the exercises was a big piece of that as well. And so that's where the 30 seconds per set came in.
Charlie, you bring up that fabulous point with the sustainable piece, because I think we never think about that. And during these videos, we're really encouraging our participants to choose modifications, choose versions of the exercise. I kind of like that word better than modifications, versions, because whatever exercise is best for your body is actually the best. It's like the A+ version. But anyways, we want to pick an exercise that we say, hey, choose an exercise that you can come back and work out with us tomorrow with, instead of going all out today. Because when you go all out today, that means you probably don't get to work out tomorrow and maybe not the next day, which means that those 2 days after day one, you're not really getting any health benefits. So I love that idea because no one talks about it. And it's actually really the key to exercise. Is like, what can you do that you can return to tomorrow, the next day, next year, 2 years, 5 years, 20 years? What can you do that's sustainable?
Definitely. And so we've kind of created this program where we feel like people can come back day after day. And that's what we're seeing is people are coming back day after day. We're over a week into this now. And we've had people with us every single day, live and on replay. And we're getting great feedback saying, hey, the time goes so quickly. Oh, these workouts are so much fun. And they can keep coming back day after day and doing it, which means every single day they get those health benefits that come from exercising, and they get to build on those health benefits that come from exercising on a consistent basis. And that's really the name of our game that we're trying to play and that we're trying to help others play as well.
So we talked about the constructs of the workout. Number 1 being the warm-up with various different motions. Number 2 being the bulk, the resistance training piece. And number 3, we're here at number 3, which is the cool down, which is not just about getting yourself from being in the workout zone to, I'm back to regular, like letting your heart rate come down, letting your body return to normal. But it's more about jump-starting your body to start recovering. And so to do that, there's almost nothing better than doing isometrics. So what we're doing is guiding people through isometric exercises, light contractions of different muscle areas that we have challenged through the workout to help those areas start recovering in the event that you have overdone that area. And it's just a great way to help combat soreness, help combat achiness or extra fatigue after the workout, which is usually a sign of some kind of muscle imbalance. So this kind of isometric work really can help negate some of that.
Yeah, so overall, it's a 3-minute warm-up, it's a 3-minute cool down, and then, you have your work in the middle. And that's how we're able to, one, make sure that it's safe, because we take a little bit of time in the beginning to help get people moving, and then, vary the joint challenges throughout the workout and throughout the week. But then also to make sure that it's sustainable by keeping the workouts condensed, and by making sure that there are certain days that are more intense, certain days that are less intense, and then ultimately making sure that the workouts are convenient, because regardless of how safe and sustainable they are, look, if they're not convenient, they're not going to be feasible for people. So we need to make sure that the exercise selection could be done with just body weight, or if you had some external resistance, such as dumbbells, such as, canned goods, such as a child, all of those are viable options for some of the exercises to use. We've seen people using their pets and their lawn furniture. So
yes, out on the patio.
All great options, right? But, each of those things went into consideration for, okay, if people are going to abide by this stay-at-home order, what can we do to make sure that they are able to exercise consistently, sustainably, and conveniently, and in a safe manner for this entire time? And then at the end, have a process and a product to say, okay, hey, if you want to keep doing this, you can keep doing it in this manner, and you're going to be good to go for years to come.
So if you're interested in participating in these workouts, they are completely 100% free. We did them on Facebook Live, Instagram Live, and so on Facebook, we're able to post them, so they are posted. So check out our Facebook page, Muscle Activation Schaumburg, and we started doing them on March 18th, 2020. So no matter when you're starting to watch this, we're on day 9. I'm planning that we're going to continue to do this until our stay-at-home order is lifted. So definitely scroll back. You can redo them or follow us on Facebook. And on Fridays, we announce our schedule for the weekend. And on Sundays, we announce our schedule for the week. So you can tune in live if you are wanting to. Also, I've been leading some mobility workshops that happen after the workouts, which is just a more focused time on working on mobility. It's range of motion, isometrics, and everything is to help you stay mobile, stay moving. And we do not use stretching, but we use more of the principles that Charlie and I use at the studio. So you can also find those if you're not really keen into resistance training, although I hope that from listening to this podcast, you get a little more excited about it, but I know it's not everyone's jam. But try out those mobility clinics as well. They're usually, 15, 20 minutes. Yeah. They're pretty quick. Yeah. And they're not very intense. We use a chair, so it's really great for all abilities. Lastly, we have something cool. If you're listening to this kind of recent, meaning close to the time it's coming out. Right now, you know that a lot of small businesses, we are shut down. It is a very difficult time for us because we're unable to do the thing, number one, that we love, but also the thing that keeps our doors open. And one thing you can do to really support us, and also you'll get benefit out of it, is you can buy an amazing purple shirt, Muscle Activation Schaumburg shirt. If you go to www.shoplocaltees.com, a really cool local business here in Hoffman Estates, which is a neighboring town of Schaumburg, is called Blink Tees. And what they did is they partnered up with a whole bunch of small businesses in the area that are looking for help, looking for exposure, because I think we all need it right now. And they created amazing t-shirts. They have like the best fabric. You know those t-shirts you put on and you're like, oh, this feels like a cloud. It's so soft and snuggly. Those shirts. Anyways, when you buy one of those shirts, it directly benefits Muscle Activation Schaumburg financially because they give us a huge part of the money that comes in, like over half, which is amazing. And it's an amazing purple color. We'll have to be posting our pictures in the t-shirt soon. I am trying to twist the leg and get baby sizes too, because Charlie and I have a baby and I think I said, well, she's going to need one in every size. She needs a summer one in her 12-month size. She needs a fall one for her 18 months, So I'm working on more sizes. But if you go to Shop Local Tees right now, you'll find the adult sizes in those super soft t-shirts. So make sure you get those. Number one, because it's an amazing shirt. And number two, you are helping us out because we are a small local business surviving in this crazy time.
So who do you know that needs to hear this episode? Who do you know that is working out at home or that is not working out because they're like, well, I don't have access to my gym? Share this episode with them so they can learn about the live Facebook workouts that we are doing, that we have been doing, and that can be replayed from our page to help give some guidance on things that they can do while they're working out at home. And while you're online, if you wouldn't mind, head on over to iTunes and leave us a rating and review. It helps people find us when they're looking for podcasts on exercise and when they're looking for podcasts on health. So if you wouldn't mind, if you found value in this conversation today, let us know by leaving us that 5-star rating and review. Well, thanks so much for tuning in. We always appreciate it. Have a fantastic week, and we'll talk with you all next week.